Coop did, and Coop and I, we were talking about like what other artists' greatest hits would look like, since this whole greatest hits conversation kind of happened, and we're thinking, okay, Eminem has two greatest hits, and a lot of the guys who deserve some greatest hits don't even have one. Redman doesn't even have a greatest hits, does he? So we thought Common would be a good person to kind of profile on this, and Coop went through and put together a Common's greatest hits album. And here it is. Starts off with I Used to Love Her, in retrospect of life, reminding me of self, the light, Sixth Sense, watermelon, come close, the corner, the food, go, testify, the people, the game, driving me wild, Thelonious, they say, Southside, 1999, Song for Asada, Real People, and Love of My Life as a bonus. Wow.
Here's what I mean about how this was brilliant. He is the rare artist that actually delivers on his singles and on his album tracks. I could go to most of his release singles and be like, no, that's one of his greatest hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I Used to Love Her in retrospect for life. I was thinking, no, those are two of his 20 best songs. He released those songs.
Yeah.
The Corner, The Sixth Sense, The Light.
You could even throw the Corner remix or Come Close remix on there, the Dilla remix with Pharrell, Q-Tip, and Erykah Badu. Stuff like that could even be bonuses.
I'm cool with the remixes. There's stuff that I wanted to put on here that I didn't put on here, like Hungry. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll tell you some stuff off Monday. It'll all make sense that I love. I love Invocation, Real Nigga Quotes, Hungry, and Making a Name for Ourselves, and Gaining One's Definition with CeeLo. That didn't make the list.
Making a Name for Ourselves is tough. Jay Short with the super chat says, how would Nas do a greatest hits? We know his singles are man.
Singles aren't man. It ain't hard to tell The World Is Yours and One Love are singles. That's
even,
not man.
Even with his quote unquote man singles, he would have a tough greatest hits.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. People go, man, let's go through some of Nas's singles. One Love, It Ain't Hard to Tell, The World Is Yours, Nas is Like
Hate Me Now is a pretty decent song.
Look, Made You Look. Yeah. Made You Look. I just gave you 5 Nas singles. Like, that's some of the best rap stuff ever. It's very, like, Rakim-like.
KD with the super chat says, M only has 2 or 3 good albums. Everything else is trash after that. How does that compare to someone like Ross or Gibbs, who's been given consistent greatness? This is true. DeCarlo with the super chat says, Eminem is in my top 5 and been watched for some time. I see a lot of people in here mad, but it is what it is. He needs to do better. He's too popular. Shaking my head. DeCarlo, now, if you say he's been watched for a long time, how is he still in your top 5? Like, does your top 5 just not move?
It's immovable.
You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, Andre 3000 was in my top 5. He's not anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Jason with the super chat says, I know this ain't the topic, but big ups to you both for always giving Rakim his just due. M ain't top 50. Jeez. Now that's a bit far. Well, but we appreciate
I want to say something to that too, because it's like, well, we're not giving Rakim his just due. We're giving him what's been earned. He set a standard in every other genre. When there's been a standard setter who has changed things, they are so revered, it is ridiculous. Go look at the Beatles.
You know, I was just listening to
even within music culture and other genres. Look at the way Nirvana is heralded for grunge.
For real.
Look at the way the Beatles are heralded for pop music. Look at the way Bob Marley is heralded for reggae.
No, you're right. Now, I was just listening to the Hoodlum soundtrack when Mobb Deep, Big Noi, and Rakim got on the record together. And it was the first time that Rakim ever jumped on the record with somebody outside of anything. And I'm listening to Rakim's verse, and I'm like, he literally taught everybody how to rap.
How to rhyme, right?
This shit is crazy.
Rap like him.
And people after him, like, he literally set the standard for how to rhyme. And you can hear it on that record, too. Like, these guys were taught by him inadvertently. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Alchemist is M's DJ. Let that sink in. Right. Has he ever rhymed over an Alchemist beat?
You want to know what? I'm not sure about that, but Alchemist is everywhere. You want to know what I just thought about?
What's that?
Alchemist is the one that did that joint on the Carter 3 with Jewels and Fab.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got nothing on me? That's an Alchemist beat. Alchemist is everywhere.
Alchemist is everywhere. Got to give him credit. The L Web with the super chat says DMX has the best hits of an MC next to LL, in my opinion. You know what? I think that LL Cool J greatest hits is pretty great too.
It is.
It is pretty great. All right, so let's get back to your comment, greatest hits, which I think is like super dope, man. You kind of surprised me with the reminding me of self.
I actually thought that was one of the last few records that he actually made like that, you know?
What do you think about Ghetto Heaven? You didn't like Ghetto Heaven?
I'm not as big on that as everybody else is.
You know what? I didn't love it when it came out. I wasn't big on Macy Gray when that came out, and I didn't love the video where he's like, stepping on the sky and all that stuff. But it was a pretty good song. Looking back at it, it was cool.
Still not big on it. Give me Come Close.
Come Close is better. I love the song he had with Jill Scott on Electric Circus. I know you're not really big on Electric Circus, but
Come Close is all we got off Electric Circus.
Nah, man, that song, I Am Music.
I know what you're talking about.
Dope record.
It's more soulful. It's more soulful than Come Close. It might be better musically. I know what you're saying though.
And I also love. You don't like Aquarius on Electric Circus?
I like it. I like it. It's cool. It's not greatest hit stuff to me. That would be next 20 stuff. Like if he had a second greatest hits, maybe Aquarius makes the next 20. But I'm not even certain about that because I would put in some of his back end stuff that maybe didn't make this list.
Well, I know you got Southside on here, so it kind of cancels out They Say, even though I think They Say is. Oh, you got They Say on here. I'm tripping.
Yeah, They Say is.
What I'm thinking about is the song on
Shot City.
I like Shot City a lot. But that's not the greatest hits. But I was gonna say I Want You.
I couldn't do it.
I love.
You want to know it? The Dilla joint with D'Angelo would have been on there before that one to me.
Okay.
You've Come So Far?
Yeah.
So far, yeah. I love that record. That would have been on there first. Either version would have been on there first.
And you know what? What's crazy about Common's catalog?
It's one of my favorite.
You put this together, and you don't even have anything from Universal Mind Control on there. No, you don't have anything. You don't have anything from The Dreamer, The Believer.
The Dreamer, Believer.
Which has some quality songs on it.
No, that's what I mean is that like, no, I could do another 20 and give you some more quality stuff. I stayed off some albums totally. I told you, I stayed off some of those back-end albums where there's some gems in there.
Yeah, did you like Sweet?
I love Sweet. Sweet's dope. Sweet would be on the next 20.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know what?
I think Sweet deserves to possibly be on there.
I didn't put the Bitch in You on here, but that's just because I'm not a diss record on greatest hits type of album. I wouldn't put Drop a Gem on Mobb Deep's greatest hits. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You don't want those type of things to live forever on a greatest hits.
Yeah.
Jason said, Coop, I heard, but unfortunately, no mainstream media gives Rakim his love. Y'all, this is not a debate. I'm just giving y'all the credit for being real. No, that's what's up, man. I mean, I know everything Coop says sounds like a debate, but nah, he's concurring with you. And we're doing what everybody else should be doing, but we appreciate the love for it.
And I know Rakim is who we probably frequent and feature the most, but KRS-One deserves that energy. Big Daddy Kane deserves that energy. LL deserves that energy. Slick Rick deserves that energy. Chuck D.
Yeah.
Scarface.
LL should get a lot more credit than he does.
Yeah,
to be as famous as he is, he still doesn't get the credit he deserves.
We have to revere these people because here's what I also realized too is that we revere Big and Pac so much, but it's what about L and Pun and Easy? And Left Eye. It's no, we need to do this shit while people is live, living, and it's going down, And
I really feel man, they kind of snuck LL in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
I still don't like it. It's that is so unfair. It's
they act like it didn't even happen.
I really thought about this. It's everybody really did interview LL. Mm-hmm. But who else did you have to go off of to watch an interview from? Who else was getting interviews?
He was the blueprint.
So, when you got him going up there
Well,
with
Run
Jay,
DMC was getting interviewed, but other than that, as an individual,
right?
yeah.
But you put him up there with Jay, it's like, well, that's dimming his light. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that to him? But it's like, oh,
Dude,
but
that
you
is
don't
an
know who he is like
11-year
that.
span. That's an 11-year span. And I don't even want to get on this tribe and M thing, but that's a whole nother. We'll be going
We've
backwards.
done enough for
We've
today.
done enough of that. Jay Show with the Super Chat says, a song for Asada, It's Your World, Love Is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got Song for Asada on there. Love Is was on the borderline. I like Faithful more than Love Is.
I think It's Your World is one of the most beautiful closeout songs on the record. It's perfect for that record.
It is that. How about this? I was picking between They Say, Real People, and Your World, and I thought Real People has better bar work, and I thought They Say was more greatest hits appropriate. You know what I mean?
I think It's Your World has better bar work than all of them.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
She got the
I don't know. The bar work is crazy on the whole album, but Real People is pretty special.
I think the bar work on It's Your World is probably the best bar work on the whole album, to me.
You feel that way?
Yeah.
I mean, the best bar work's The Corner, but I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of that's style, too, but yeah, he's really taking it there on It's Your World. That's the Common that we know, like it's very introspective Common. Michael Williams with the Super Chat says, what separates Nas from AZ lyrically? Is it fair to say that AZ's flow is better? On average, his rhyme scheme seems to be more dense and complex. Well, I think he said it there. Go ahead.
The rhyme scheme is more dense and more complex, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like the depth of what he's saying isn't. I'll give you an example.
Spoils us, man. We take his greatness for granted sometimes, bar for bar.
No. How about this? I remember my friend Charles Bacala, when we were young and we first started rhyming, used to say, well, as a tactician on the mic, AZ is more dazzling than Nas because of the wordplay and the verbiage he used. Like on Do or Die, when he's like, before we let any titty boppers try to stop us, you rather put your head through the propellers of a helicopter. Like, that's like Nas doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. But AZ, as much as he is a visualizer, he's not the detail-oriented, put the scene together person that Nas is. Look at them on Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo Homicide, like the bar work.
Well, you don't think Nas did that on Lights, Cameras, and Action, Glamour, Glitters, and Gold, Unfold, the Scroll, Plant Seeds, to Stampede, the Globe?
Yeah, but the verbiage isn't crazy. Like, he's not using words like helicopter, titty bopper, propeller. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not using those words. This is how he does it. In a mahogany, black scenery. That was lightning and raindrops. I tied up in the basement cocaine spot like Bangkok. Vietnam type mind control. Like, his talk game is different. Yeah. When AZ comes in, he's like, I'm like a mathematician with the hold on. What did he say? My mind is like a grad from Princeton. Soon you'll be listening. Like, his wordplay is just different, but it's more about the wordplay than the actual scenery. Nas is a scene setter. You know what I'm saying?
AZ uses more words per bar.
It's verbiage. His verbiage is higher. You know, it's very, AZ's verbiage is the only person who I can think of like word for word that does it like he does would probably be Pun. Mm. So his verbiage level is high. And so when he executes, but he doesn't know how to paint those pictures. Like, that's harder to do over the course of an album. That's why he sounds so great when he's with Nas. What Nas does, Nas is going to deliver over the course of an album. AZ delivers better in those spurts when he has, somebody like Nas next to him. That's why they're so brilliant. They're perfect together. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful play. You know what I'm saying? It's like AZ's explanation of why life's a bitch on Life's a Bitch is totally different than Nas's explanation of why life's a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Now, what would you say to somebody saying that some of these records aren't hits?
Okay, first of all, almost all of these records on here were singles. I Used to Love Her, single. Retrospect for Life, single. Reminding Me of Self, single. The Light, single. The Sixth Sense, single. Come Close, single. The Corner, single. The Food on the Dave Chappelle Show, Go, single. Testify, single. The People, single. The Game, single. Driving Me Wild, single. 1999 got released, has a single on Sound Bombing. Mm-hmm. So literally, about 13 of these songs were actual single hit records.
Well, if you throw Love in My Life in there, then what? That's 14, and you got a hit. I mean, you got a greatest hits right there with 14 records, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. So when people are saying that, it's like, no. I mean, the only stuff that didn't get released was Watermelon off Resurrection, Thelonious off like Water for Chocolate.
Wait a minute. Thelonious is one of those. It might not have been a single, but that's a street hit. Like, that's a cult classic.
That's what I'm saying.
You could go anywhere and probably hear a record like that, and people be like, "Oh shit!" Like, I walked in. I forgot where I was at, man. I was in East Atlanta, and I walked in. The DJ was playing "Abandoned Ship" by Busta Rhymes. I was like, "Oh shit!"
It's one of those places.
Those type of records,
right? One of those places.
Like, yeah, this wasn't a single, but this was the song on the album that everybody was going to.
Well, that's what I kind of tried to do.
Yeah.
I see what was left did. After I went through the singles, it's like, okay, so on Resurrection, I remember people used to talk about Watermelon.
Mm-hmm. No,
that was the joint that I chose from Resurrection. On like Water for Chocolate, Song for a Cider, and Thelonious were the joints, right?
Well, there's a lot on that one. It was a lot on that album.
I mean, doing it. I thought about doing it too.
Doing it. I remember doing it get played, and I don't even think that was an official single either.
It felt like it was the unofficial, like last single or something like that. So, Real People, They Say, it's like they weren't singles, but didn't it kind of feel like they were singles because
They Say got played.
They got played.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the thing that I see on here is just how wonderful that time with Ye is. Because, I mean, look at it. The Corner, The Food, Go, Testify, The People, The Game, Driving Me Wild, They Say, Southside, Real People. That's half the greatest hits.
Between the work that Kanye's done with Pusha, him, Jay, himself, I might have to put Kanye above
this greatest
Dr.
hits
Dre,
is concise as a producer's greatest hits is going to be, because it's like the only producers on here are No ID, Kanye, DJ Premier, and Jay Dilla.
Incredible, right?
I'm sorry, 199 High Tech.
High Tech, another incredible one.
Look at that. Look at those producers on the greatest hits. Don't tell me producers don't matter. We got 21 songs from Common. We got High Tech, DJ Premier, No ID, Kanye West, and Dilla.
Dilla did Love of My Life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Dilla
what I'm
with
saying.
The super
Think
chat.
about it. You got Dilla. Hold on. Your greatest hits. Your main producers are Dilla, Primo, and Kanye. Yeah.
We're gonna have to really.
Yeah, you need to put some respect.
We're gonna have to really examine this whole Dr. Dre thing as a producer. I think we need to spend a whole show on just kind of examining the greatness and some of the missteps of Dr. Dre as a producer as a whole, and are we possibly holding him too high? And I'm somebody who has Dr. Dre at number one. Based on the output of certain albums, iconic albums that he had a hand in. But maybe we need to take a closer look. Because that Eminem thing is it's a big not asterisk, but it's a big minus.
It is. I'll tell you what. You want to know what we really need to find out? We really need to find out how many beats he's responsible for on these three projects specifically. The Chronic 2001, and Doggy Style, because Daz did a lot of work on all of those projects. And I heard that Warren G did some work here and there, and we've heard that Quick did some work. We know Mailman did some work. You know what I mean? We need to know.
I feel like Mailman co-produced the whole Chronic 2001.
I feel that way too. So let's go ahead and leave that off the board and say that's a co-production credit. Does any other all-time great producer get the credit that he gets for co-producing?
Well, I mean, even on The Firm, right? We were just talking to the gentleman who co-produced with him on all those songs.
I was just thinking about that. The Glove helped do Phone Tap, and it's like, no, that's what I mean.
Because the thing is, we give Dr. Dre total credit for Phone Tap. It's like, okay, well, what did the Glove do? He might have made the whole damn song. And maybe Dre came through with just some drums.
Well, this is
Who
why
knows?
I've always told you that whole RZA run is really, really serious to me because, and here's what made it serious to me. When I saw True Master get credit on Brooklyn Zoo, and I was like, oh, they gave him his credit.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. That's one of those type of records that if you're RZA and
you
your
taking
legacy
records,
is still
you
building
taking
beat.
that one.
You
No,
take
you're right.
you take that record.
No, you're right.
You take
No, you're
Brooklyn
right.
Zoo and put your name on it. The fact that I saw True Master's name on Brooklyn Zoo, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this motherfucker legit. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
No, for real.
Okay.
Dilla
There
with the
ain't
super chat says, which do you guys think is better? Better follow-up track to Ether, Takeover, or the Blueprint 2.0, or Last Real Nigga Alive? You know what? Based on the circumstances in the order, I'm gonna go Last Real Nigga Alive, even though I feel like the Blueprint 2 should have been the response to Ether, but I think we're a little bit out of order because Ether's the response to Takeover. So that's the best response.
It goes Summer Jam, Live, Stillmatic, Diss over the Paid in Full beat, Rakim popping back up again in this hip-hop lexicon and culture.
Right.
Nas went at Jay over what track? Over the Paid in Full beat because he knew what? He knew heads was going to know. It's like, oh, you going at Jay over the Rakim shit? Let's go. Game on. That's head shit, Mike. That's chess. Then you get the
full takeover.
Well, the takeover's done, and it's going at Prodigy. And the other guys at the end, y'all only get half a bar. 3 verses are done. He hears the Stillmatic disc, goes back, 4th verse on the takeover. Then Ether. Then Super Ugly. Then the
Blueprint.
Then the Blueprint. Then Last Real Nigga Alive.
Yep. Jay Shaw with the super chat says, okay, what's AZ's weight class? Jada, Deck, Corrupt? That's a good question.
Yes. Okay. So I'll tell you this. AZ is actually somebody who we need to have an all-time conversation about. Like, where does he actually rank? Because I think Do or Die is a classic. I think Do or Die is held up exceptionally well. I think as a lyricist, I'll put him up against anybody because think about it. He's gotten the best of Nas multiple times on records. And he's actually the only person that can actually really say that. Like multiple times he's gotten the better of Nas on records, or at least been right there with him.
Well, Jay has too, but whatever.
Who?
Jay-Z has too, but that's different.
Well, those records aren't good. So
Black Republican's good.
So, I'm talking about those songs that are actually worth a damn. Okay. I mean, I'm not being funny either. Black Republican is the only song that I would take around anywhere and be like, hey, these are our 2 greatest MCs. Look at them perform together. The rest of that shit you would keep because you'd be like, those are your 2 best guys? It's like, really? They don't sound that good together.
It sounds like Jay's trying a lot in the way where Nas is kind of trying at all. And it feels like that even on Black Republican to a degree. I feel like Jay's so competitive that those 2 are on the record together. Jay's going for it. And I think Nas is going the opposite direction on purpose.
No, but it's funny. Like right now, it seems like Nas is hyper competitive right now, and Jay's totally uninterested. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna make music, maybe if I feel like it. Possibly. I was thinking about it. It's like that's the most competitive MC ever. He's like, yeah, maybe if I feel like it. I might really not a focus right now. Okay. Whatever.
Mad Max with the super chat says, LOL, AZ got better flow than Nas, has better imagery. AZ is Kane, Nas is Rakim. With how both of them rhyme.
How about this? I mean, this is what I mean about how we need to have a conversation about AZ. He's not remembered the way that Kane is. But when you have to say he's ranked higher than Kane, look at his catalog. Look at the bars.
I can't say that, but I feel you.
What do you have for Kane to say that AZ is not better?
Homeboy Blaze with the super chat says Blue Sky. This is the thing, man. I think that if AZ went up against Kane in like a versus format, I think Kane wins that.
I mean, Kane can beat almost anybody just off stage presence and performance alone, though, so that's not necessarily fair to